Three, two, one. What's up, everyone? I've got Shelby Whelihan on the line. She is an SDR at Tealium. How's it going, Shelby?
It's going well over here. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Well, we always start with a triple whammy. So, one, how was your day? Two, what did you learn today? And three, of course, what are you drinking?
All right. In that order specifically, or does it matter?
Oh, you can go any order you want.
All right. We'll start with what I'm drinking first because I want to be sponsored by these people. We'll go with June Shine.
June Shine, take a look.
Everyone that knows me knows that's my drink of choice.
So what's June Shine?
June Shine is our local hard kombucha company, and they
Ooh.
have their branding on point and their flavors. So this one I'm drinking is called Blood Orange Mint, and you call it Bomb.
That's tight.
Yeah. And they have like little surfers on it. It's very San
Oh,
Diego.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm having a local beer as well. I'm drinking a Epic IPA from Mammoth Brewing, but it's actually in another Mammoth Brewery glass, so it's kind of awkward. But
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Is it EPIG, Epic?
No, it's a EPIC.
Oh. You're saying it's an Epic.
Oh, it's an Epic IPA. It's called the Epic IPA.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's dope. It's dope, and they're doing these great deals right now because of you know, the quarantine and everything, and so I'm hyped.
Yeah.
It's an
Great.
all-time time to buy beer.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Every podcast I've been preaching about how I've been buying this cheap beer, and it's awesome and it's great.
And like a lot of places for us are doing like half off bottle of wines, like free
Oh,
delivery. June Shine has free delivery. Like,
killer.
yeah, you got to get after it.
It's a good time.
Okay, so for my day was good. Felt productive. I don't know, got all my tasks done. I feel like I still have a million emails to do, but that's okay. We
Classic life as an
yeah,
SDR.
classic life. We had our digital conference today, so
Ooh,
that was awesome. So we have leads and stuff coming through. So put a bunch of those people in sequences at the end of the day.
good.
Gonna hit them up tomorrow, and
Boom.
hopefully, boom, yeah, some meetings.
Love to hear it. Well,
Yeah.
hey, let's dive right in. Tell me a little bit about where you're at at quota. It can be year to date or whatever you want to share with everyone, like where you at quota wise.
Quota wise, yeah. I would say this quarantine is a little challenging for sure.
Super challenging, real
Yeah,
life.
I have been trying to navigate it. There was a period where I definitely took like the empathetic route. Like, we don't know what these people are experiencing at home. It's hard to be like a salesperson calling them and being like, "Hey, I know you're in troubled times, but like buy some software."
Yeah.
So that was
Serious.
that was interesting to navigate like my messaging, I would say, for the month of March and April.
Yeah.
So basically the route I took was more like friendly, educational, like I'm going to be
Sure.
your partner.
Yeah.
So I feel like March and April were, I think I hit like a little over half quota. March,
Hmm.
I think I hit my quota, and then April I hit a little over half. And
Okay.
then May, we're at like 12 days in.
Yeah.
I'm at, I'm almost, I would say I'm about like 2/3 of the way, which is good because we're
Killer.
12 days in. But I feel like that was because I've built the momentum from the months prior.
Yeah.
It
And I
helped.
think you told me like before quarantine, like before all this hit, you were at like 120% or something like that. Am I
Yep,
wrong?
it was definitely a different story before quarantine. So if we want to go in the past, yeah, I was over quota. It was nice. Those were good times. But
This
I
is
did,
a super hard time.
yeah,
It's no
just
joke.
being honest with it.
Yeah,
So
I've been having like my worst months ever, like since I've been in SDRs. So
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
been
It's rough.
it's been rough, but I also believe my manager, Andrew, actually like believes in like the compounding effect, and I just like keep
Hmm.
reminding myself every single day, like, one reply, at least it's like, a
Yeah.
neutral or positive, like I can turn that around hopefully when things like pick up down the road. So I've just kind of been like focused on that, which I think I think this month I'm definitely going to, I'm hoping to hit quota, but that's
I
like
mean, if you're already at 2/3, I mean, it's only May 12th, so
yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking good.
So
That's
we're in
awesome.
good. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, tell me a little bit about like how you became like the top rep. Like, what are some of your keys to success and like in getting to where you're at?
Yeah, good question. So let's see. Where do we even begin? I would say so I'm naturally just like a really curious person. So
Mm,
I like to ask a lot of questions,
yeah.
and I like to ask a lot of questions from a lot of different people. So I
Hmm.
definitely don't take one person's answer as the only answer.
Yeah.
So I might ask the same question to 5 different people. So then that way
Hmm.
I can like curate my own, like, I guess, like my way of doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and I also take a friendly, I think a friendlier approach. Like I want to be someone's partner. I want them to
Hmm.
like trust me. I
Yeah.
want them to I think I give them like I steer them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Um, like basically point them to the cheese,
Yeah.
but
Mm.
being like that supported advisor like along the way.
Yeah, like not so like direct in your face, but like I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna give you the right advice, what I think is right, and like if that's where you end up, which I want you to end up, then like this is mutually beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. I guess like the goal, like with anything, I want to just provide value. So the more
Yeah.
value I can give you, it's like kind of like that give and take, like
Hmm.
natural like phenomenon. Like
Yeah.
if I give you so much, it's almost like you're gonna feel obligated to give something back to me, whether that's like 15 minutes of your time or
Yep.
that's obviously the goal. I'm hoping for that, but I typically the more I give, they're going to come back eventually
Hmm.
and give me some time.
I love that give and take. I haven't thought about that lately. And I think it's like super it's natural and it's like it seems like kind of like a long-term strategy.
Hmm.
Like it's not super in your face or like asking like immediately. It's more of like it's almost like a nurturing process.
Yeah.
How do you carry that out like in a day to day, like with emails and calls, and do you send a lot of content? What does that look like?
Yeah, good question. So I would say, in terms of like strategy, once I get someone, how do I want to go about this? Once I get someone like live, whether that's email live, LinkedIn
Hmm.
live, or someone's connected with me,
Yep.
or on the phone, I partner with my AE and we create what's called a high spot pitch. Are you familiar with high spot?
No.
So it's basically like a portal where you can put all this different content in, and you can
Yeah.
create it like specific to them. So you can put in their logo, and you could say like,
Huh.
one of our companies in Tealium. So we want to like, put their
Yeah.
logo in Tealium, and then we'll create like a pitch deck for them, and then all this
Oh
relevant
dang.
content that will be pertaining to them specifically, like maybe using um, one of our NBA customers. So Utah Jazz is one of our customers. So we'll throw in like their
Huh.
use cases and stuff like that.
That's
Then
super
it just
cool.
Yeah, and then it just becomes like a give. So, hey, I know you said you so for example, I got the CTO, we talked on the phone. He was like, yeah, it was exciting.
That's
So
awesome. Congrats.
and
Cheers to that.
yeah, cheers. The best part about it is, sorry, you can't talk before you drink.
Rule number one of the
Rule
SDR
number
podcast.
one, yeah. Uh, the best part about it is when I got the phone, I slacked my AE and I was like, just got the phone with, or I was like, just talked to CTO. He's like, so casual. um, but basically,
That's awesome.
so he said, like, we're not interested. We're not looking to evaluate any technologies. We have everything set for the whole year.
Ugh, the
Great.
worst.
Yeah, it's the worst. So we got off the phone, and basically what my AE and I did is create one of those high spot. They call them pitches.
Yeah.
So it's like a spot, and then you create a pitch within a spot. It's kind
I
of
love it.
confusing with their lingo. And so what I did is very soft, just, hey, thanks for your time today. Just wanted to provide some resources on kind of what we're doing with Utah Jazz. Here you
Yeah.
go. And just link it to them. And, we've seen someone was on it for 45 minutes today.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So it's very much just like, here's all the information we could pretty much provide you. When the time is right, we know things are crazy right now. Like, you'll
Yeah.
come back to us, and it's more just give, give, give. And I feel like once I finally come around for that ask, they're gonna feel open to it.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got on tangent, but I have to ask another question about this high spot that
Yeah.
you're using. Sorry, I said it like I was like 100-year-old man. What's the high spot that you're using? Sorry. So this app you guys use, how does it work? Like how can you like how do you collaborate and then send it to the prospect?
Yeah, so it's like it's a software. So it's like an outreach, or it's like we bought it, or my company did, and it's basically it houses kind of like a I don't know, like a Google Doc, but like on steroids. So
Oh,
it has
cool.
everything in there. So it has like our pitch decks, our videos, like new hire. We have like weekly meetings. It has like video content in there. It's
That's
basically
tight.
one destination to find everything, and you just can search it at the top, and you can create like pitches, which is you like going in there and curating your own like content for a
Hmm.
specific company, which is kind of what
Yeah.
I was saying earlier. Yeah. Where I can go in and say, like, it's the CTO, he's going to care about X, Y, and Z. I'm going to pull all this in here so
Yeah.
he can see that Tealium can deliver on these kind of, you know, these areas.
Yeah.
So it's just like a centralized location of all of our content, because we have a lot of it.
Dang, that's tight. I love it.
It's awesome. I mean, my AE and I are absolutely obsessed with it.
I love
And
it.
it's
That's
so
awesome.
and it comes off really clean. So
Yeah.
I'll send the company name. So it'll be like Dallas Mavericks plus Tealium,
Yeah.
and then I'll hyperlink it. So
Yeah.
all they have to do is click that, versus me sending like a ton of different links or papers or whatever in an email, and it's all cluttered and looks weird.
That's really cool. All right, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to. We'll link that in the show notes, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
for
yeah.
like the tools that you're using. I
Yeah.
had someone else on the podcast that was saying they had just started using it, but they weren't like super involved with it yet. So I'm glad we got the beta.
Oh, I will give a class on it. I am
Oh,
beyond
all right.
obsessed.
Shelby Whelihan, hit her up on LinkedIn. Gonna give you a class on how to use Highspot. Said it right here.
I love it. It is amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get back to keys to success. We got, I think you did like one. What else? What else is getting you to like over quota and hitting your number? Yada yada.
Okay, so my biggest thing I would say is collaboration with the team.
Hmm.
I can't. It's not a one man show ever.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I think obviously it looks a little different working from home than when we were in the
Yeah.
office, because we all sat in what we called the pit,
Hmm.
and we
What's
could
the pit?
it's just where all the SBRs sit. We actually call it the Rhino Pit.
That's tight. I love it.
So it was awesome when we were sitting there, because we could just like, lean over and be like, how would you respond to this, or help me respond to this objection, or you get some on the phone, or whatever it might
Hmm.
be. It's just you have a lot of collaboration happening at once. Um,
Yeah.
and going back to my asking questions to a lot of different people, so a lot of
Yeah.
different people on different teams.
Okay.
Um, I would say if I get like a technical response, I might reach out to one of our technical counterparts, ask them to help me curate like an email or a response. This isn't, at all by myself. So collaboration, I say, number one, get the right resources around you. And
Dang.
then, so that way, like at all times, you get someone, that wants to, the CTO wants to talk to you and you don't know how to maybe respond to them. You
Yeah.
can reach out to maybe not our CTO, but maybe someone higher up, and ask them how they might respond, or how
Hmm.
they might like, handle this competitive like maybe they say they're using one of our competitors. Like, how would you handle this? And I think just leveraging the people around me has definitely helped with my success.
That's awesome. I love that. I feel like personally, whenever I'm like, oh, I'm gonna reach out to someone, it's gonna take like 10 minutes for them to get back to me, and then it's gonna like interrupt my day. I could just like send them, you know. I love that you're so naturally curious. Like, how did you start like asking people higher up in the company? Like, were you nervous at first, or like how did you kind of start doing that?
That's a good question. I view people as people, and that is exactly how I call on people. And
Yeah,
whether you're the janitor or you're the CEO, like, and I mean that
yeah,
wholeheartedly. Like,
that's cool.
I don't look at titles. If we vibe and we get each other, we do, and if we don't, we don't. And it could be whatever you are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
So
cool.
I just no, I don't get nervous. I ask them, and if they respond, great. If they don't, I've never had them not. I'm fortunate to work at a company that, like, I do know the CEO, and
That's cool.
people high up, and they do like put a lot of effort into knowing their employees. So
Mm,
that is like the great thing about working at Tealium, is that you do
yeah.
have access to those type of people.
Would you say everyone on your team is kind of like that, or are you kind of a odd case in going after those relationships and building those relationships and asking those questions?
Um, I would say a lot of people leverage that.
That's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, I think people aren't afraid to reach out and talk to whoever they need to talk to. And I think the upper management always stresses, like, I hear it all the time in AE calls and different weekly meetings, like, this isn't you don't have to do this by yourself.
Hmm,
Call anyone you want and we will come
that's
and
tight.
help you. And they really press it. So, like, I think I just take advantage of it.
Hmm,
So I know they say it, but I'm like, okay, well, great. You said so. So I'm going to ping you and we're going to talk about this because you said I could. So I don't
I love
necessarily
that.
know if everyone is totally doing it at the capacity that I might be doing it, but
Sure.
I'm like, if you say so, I'm doing it.
I think that's such a cool culture. Like,
Yeah, it's cool. It's awesome.
what's the vibe like on your team?
Oh god, my team is awesome. That's what I miss the most. I mean,
Dang.
our team is, yeah, it's really cool. We sit in the pit and just like bullshit all day, and cheer each other on. And
That's so
uh,
tight.
someone like gets a live connect and books a meeting, we're all like high fiving each other. And yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. It's really cool. I definitely miss that. Like, I'm such an extrovert, like, at heart. It's like
Yeah.
it's challenging. Like, if you get something, you're like excited and having like a dance party in your living room by yourself, and then you have to like call one of your colleagues and be like, "Guess what just happened?" You have to like create it yourself versus it like coming to you just already.
Yeah. I think like team selling is like so underrated.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally agree. I've never heard of the term team selling, but that is exactly what happens.
I didn't coin it. I've heard it from other people.
Okay.
But I feel like what you guys have is like more than team selling. It's almost like it kind of sounds like a frat party, but
Basically.
that's so awesome.
Yeah, I definitely I wouldn't be able to do this by myself. Like, there's no way. I don't come from tech. I don't fully understand all the things that we're capable of doing. And
Yeah.
if you get someone that wants to know the questions to whatever they're asking me, like, I want to bring the right resource in front of them.
Yeah.
I want to be like, I view my job as like being like the trusted advisor. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to admit I don't know the answer, but I'm going to bring the right, I'm going to figure it out. Like, I will find someone that knows the answer for you. And then I
Hmm.
basically bother everyone until I find it.
I love that. Like thinking of yourself as like a trusted advisor. Like, no, I'm not an SDR. I'm like a trusted advisor. I'm gonna get you the right resources. Like if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna get you the what you need, and I don't need to know everything. I think like having that, I think there's a lot of humility in that, and like telling yourself that like you don't need to know everything. I love that. I think that's super cool.
Yeah. I think one thing which is hard when I see like new people start, or just people in general when we like start new jobs. I've done like a bunch of random jobs before. Is like we try to know everything,
Yeah.
uh, and I know I'm not going to learn everything, and I want to at least play to my strengths,
Yeah.
especially as I'm trying to learn the things, because also like I'm not afraid to like make a fool of myself when I'm trying to learn those things. But
Hmm.
I know my strength is more on that trusted advisor, like friendly, like I want you to trust me. You can like, I will get you the answer. I'll do whatever it takes. I will, like be, like I'll support you along the way until you come back, basically.
Yeah. I
But
love
I'm not
that.
going to be like your technical data scientist right now. I don't get those questions you're asking me, but I'll find
Yeah.
you the right person on my team who will be.
I love that. I love
Uh,
that.
and I know that's not my strength, so I'm not going to play to it. I'm
That's
not
so
going to,
cool.
I don't want to pretend.
That's awesome. I think that's super good wisdom right there. Um, you told me that your AE relationship is like awesome, and it's part of why you're hitting quota. Talk to me about the relationship you guys have and what makes it so great.
Yeah. He's going to be embarrassed that I I talk about it, because I talk about him like to everyone and anyone. My mom knows about him.
That's tight.
Devin Devin Walsh is his name.
D
He
Walsh.
Yeah, D Walsh. He is the definition of a leader. The
Mm,
first day that we even met, so like you meet with your AE, kind of like strategize or learn about each other. Obviously, you're going to start working with each other quite a bit, so you want to get to
yeah.
know them. He told me on the first day that we met that he believes that I will be his boss one day. So he's going to teach me everything that he knows, because he believes that. And he was like and it was like not one of those like gimmicky, maybe it was, I don't know, like Evan, you could attest to that later on, but it worked. And now he says jump and I say how high. So
Yeah.
uh,
Well, he got you on that one.
yeah. But I felt it like with humility that he meant it, and like he does teach me everything he knows and puts in the effort to teach me. So
Mm,
the way it looks is, and I also feel like prospects can feel it. So I'll
mm.
touch on that in a minute.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. I like that.
um, so we obviously strategize on all his accounts. There's no accounts, there's no people I can't touch or anything. Like I know sometimes AEs want to like, prioritize certain accounts and stuff like that. That isn't
Yeah.
the case with him. He's like free range for kind of anyone and anything, and you do you. And it's very much like partnered. So what we'll do is maybe we'll create sequences. We create the high spots together. If he gets
Dang.
someone live, he might say, "Hey," or he's not really calling as much. So let's say someone responded in his email, he'll say, "Shelby, I want you to come on top and
No
email."
way.
Yeah, email them with this content and introduce yourself and blah 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 blah. So that way, both of us are coming to the meeting of like Shelby and Devin. It's not like
Dang, that's
Shelby's
tight.
the PR and Devin's the AE. It's like Shelby and Devin are both partnership. And I could attest to that. We had 2 meetings already this month. Both of the people, LinkedIn messaged me afterwards. They added me on LinkedIn and messaged me and said, "I had such a great time with you and Devin today."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Such a great time. No one's ever told me that.
But like they feel it. Like
Yeah.
I think they feel that I feel really supported, and I feel
Hmm.
really like safe to like be
Hmm.
creative and try new things, and whatever it might be. And we could touch on the creativity in a minute, but
Yeah.
he really just helps like nurture that,
Hmm.
because of course I'm developing, sales
Yeah.
development. Like I don't know. First of all, this is my first sales role. Second of all, this is my first like my very first tech company in general.
Yeah.
It's all new to me. So he's like pouring into me, and it's like it shows up in our meetings, it shows up in our outreach, and it yeah, I don't know, it just shows.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, tell me about the creativity. Like, what do you guys do?
Okay, so back to that like high spot. So we'll say a few examples today. So like if I get off the phone, I called someone today. She said she wasn't the right contact. She gave me a referral to who it was. And
Yeah.
I went and then told my AE, Devin, I said, this is, what she said, whatever. And then he goes and makes like the high spot and then
Dang.
asks me to look at it. And then we like, can bounce ideas back and forth, what we might want to add. Usually it's wonderful and great, but maybe I'll throw in an idea, add something or take something out. And then I send it over. So that's a perfect example of that. Another
That's
one,
huge.
yeah, yeah.
He's like so collaborative and like looking out,
So,
like has your back. And I think like this is like AEs need to hear this.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It
This
is
is huge.
huge, and I tell them all the time, like in my like people on my team are like, how do we create what Shelby and Devin are doing? It is huge. It really shows. Um, and then what's another one? Oh, so someone responded to him and said, not now. Basically, like probably like a week ago. This is like a huge win for us, I would say.
Yeah.
And I went and found it because I was going after that account. I saw it in Salesforce. I saw that someone responded. I said, hey,
Yeah.
Devin, can I come over the top and
Mm-hmm.
invite them to DV, which is,
Yeah.
sorry, our annual conference.
Okay, got it.
So I said, I like basically went over the top of the email, CC'd my AE Devin and said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I know we haven't gotten to connect, but Devin and I work on the same team. We just want to invite you to the conference. Here's the information and here's an Uber Eats gift card so you can enjoy lunch on us. She was like, thanks so much. I just registered, looking forward to it. Like, thanks for reaching out, Shelby. So then I went and added her on LinkedIn. And then I went back to the email and said, hey, I basically said, no pressure here, not looking to sell you on anything, but would love to have an introductory call. That way that, Devin and I can send over the right resources. So when the
Yeah.
time is right. And she was like, great, how does Friday sound? So we got registrant, a call, and
Dang.
yeah, so it was cool. It was a big win for us.
Oh my gosh. Well, how do you cultivate that kind of relationship, like with an account executive, do you think?
That's a good question. I think it goes back to the trusted advisor.
Yeah.
I'm like naturally really loyal at heart. Like you
Hmm.
show me that you're gonna invest in me and I will be loyal till the end.
That's cool.
And I know that he believes in me in a lot of different ways. So
Yeah.
I just I don't know. It's a partnership. Like he does really well at like cultivating that safety, I guess, of like you
Yeah.
try whatever you need and bounce ideas off me. And then he's also asking me, I think it's also humility in the AE of trust.
Yeah, I think
Like
so too.
I think like a lot of like you have to be able to be like, hey, I'm not perfect. Like,
I love that.
that how'd that disco go or discovery call, sorry.
Hmm.
I don't know what you guys call them, but
Yeah, disco, yeah.
yeah. Can you give me advice?
He asked that.
Every call immediately after he sends me a Zoom link and then we talk about the call.
What?
He asks for advice. And so, yeah. And that advice is like, it could be, it's typically like, well, great, blah, blah, blah. And then, there was this one time in the very beginning, he used to ask, he used to say like maybe the Tealium pitch. And then he would say like, do you have any questions? Or how did he word it? It was like, oh, he said, does that make sense?
Does that make sense? Yeah.
And so
Classic.
I said, let's try something else because that shuts someone down.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to say, no, it doesn't make sense and want to feel like an idiot.
Oh my gosh.
Even if it doesn't. So then he was like, okay, I'll try it. And so then he tried it and it's been like, it opens people up but he's
Yeah.
able to take constructive criticism
That's
from
huge.
someone who's not even like, I've never been an AE and barely worked at Tealium for a while, but
Yeah.
so.
Well, that's huge. And I think it's also like speaks volumes that you have the openness and you feel comfortable enough giving that feedback. because I know like personally, like AEs have asked me like for feedback, and sometimes I'm all, yeah, it went great.
Good.
Good, yeah, you killed it. Everything was great. And then in my mind, I'm all, dude, that was terrible. Like, I wouldn't have done anything that you did, but like, I think that's so cool.
Yeah, it is really. I mean, I like will never. I never want to leave. Like, I never want to leave working with him. I've made it very clear that whatever changes they need to make in the org, like I will. I have to support him, whatever that
Shelby,
looks.
hashtag SDR for life, supporting Devin.
Absolutely.
That's so cool to hear. I just love the team mentality. Like the first SDR job I had this, we had like someone on our team that was just like, um, cancerous to like the office, and you'd walk in and you'd be all like, and you get all like weirded out and you wouldn't want to say anything. Like no one made cold calls in front of each other. Like everyone just sat there and typed emails, and it was like the worst culture ever.
Wow.
But I'm like hearing what you're talking about, and it's like, man, this is like the epitome of like what it should look like where you're excited for quarantine to be over and to go back into the office.
Oh, I like can't wait.
Dang, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Uh,
Is there anything else you wanted to say on that relationship before we change gears? I had a I had a couple other questions I wanted to
yeah,
ask you.
yeah, yeah. Let's think. Um, I guess just allowing, like, the reason why I'm able to ask those questions or give that constructive feedback is because he's like allowed me, like, he's shown that he's okay with constructive criticism and he's like
Hmm.
asked for it. He's been like open
Yeah.
to it. It's not one of those things like, how'd it go? I'm looking for you to say I did great, kind of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you feel that from someone.
He's asking for it. If he doesn't ask for it, you probably wouldn't initially like give it.
Right, right.
Potentially.
But he, like, is, like, actually curious because he wants to grow.
That's
He,
tight.
like, you can tell one of his, like, values is to grow, and he knows one of mine is. He always asks, like, "What is your motive?" And, what's, like, driving you to keep going and all the things, and it's growth and learning and all those things, and he knows that, and he knows how to work that in our relationship. I don't know.
That's
I
tight.
I just think he's a good leader, and, yeah, kudos to him. I just got lucky. I
Well,
got paired
is
with a good
he
one.
looking for a new SDR anytime soon? Can he have two SDRs? Can I
Yeah.
support him?
Yeah, I'll let him know.
Let him know. Let him know that Mark from
Oh,
Mam.
no, I promise you, if I moved over, there would be a line waiting for it.
Dang, that's tight.
People know how he works, and it's not just me, like, new AEs on his team and anyone that new coming into the company, like, just ask Devin, he'll tell you, he'll help you, it's just who he is.
Dang, that's super cool. I wanted to ask you like what is like the avenue where you book most of your meetings? Is it like email? Like what does your process look like for like booking meetings? Do you go email, phone, LinkedIn? Kind of walk me through that.
Yeah, so good question. I would say it's a mix of all three on LinkedIn, phone, and email, but I would say a majority of email. Well, it's changed over quarantine, but
Sure.
before I would say it was email and um, LinkedIn.
Okay.
This left. But now it seems to be more like phone and LinkedIn.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think people are getting like mass hit up with emails
Yeah.
and maybe spending a little less time reading through their emails, and they have more time maybe to pick up their phones. I'm getting a lot more
Yeah.
like live connects, which is great.
Interesting. That's
Um,
tight.
yeah, but yeah, I would say it's a total mix of both or all three.
Yeah.
I like to, like, today someone responded because they viewed me on LinkedIn, so then I hit them up on LinkedIn, then they went back to the email and responded to the email. So it's a lot of like I'm just in your face a lot
Yeah,
in
you're
different
all over.
avenues, and then they're gonna pick however they want to respond.
Okay, gotcha. And are you like really personalized with your outreach, or are you kind of like spray and spray and pray? Like, what's your strategy?
Well, so I support like a growth team, so I have a ton of accounts.
Yeah.
Uh, And I would say a lot of, I would say like higher titles or upper management, I would do a lot more personalized.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the ones where I'm gonna make like you a video and
Got
I'm
it.
calling you, and I mean, I'm trying to do that with everyone, but if it's like one of my top accounts and you're VP or above, like I'm definitely getting way more personal, and you're probably getting a video and probably getting a sendoso from me, and
Yeah,
whatever.
what kind of video, like what kind of videos do you send, and what kind of sendosos do you use for like those super high priority people?
Yeah.
Or what works?
So video is new for me. I would say it's a quarantine thing. I got it like 3 weeks into quarantine.
Yeah.
And it's more, honestly, it's more of me just saying, "Hi, I'm Shelby," putting a friendly face to the name, letting you know like I'm a real person looking to connect. I want to share some ideas with you.
Yeah. Love it.
I'm not pitching at all.
Hmm.
And my Sendoso at home or like in quarantine has been Uber Eat gift cards, and that has worked really well. I would
Really?
say if anyone can take anything away from this, send an Uber Eats gift card to your prospects because they are ordering takeout.
Yeah. Dang, that's tight.
Yeah, but before I was like being a little bit more creative because it was going to their office. Like it's hard because I can't, like I don't have their home address, so I'm not gonna like
Yeah.
send them brownies or random things off Amazon or whatever it might be.
Is that what you were doing beforehand?
Yeah.
Dang. So what would you do? Like what would you personalize, or what would you
Oh,
send
I
them?
would get real stocky.
What's the worst one? What's the most, like, give me the most stocky one that you've done.
Okay. So I found this woman. I'm not gonna say like company or whatever, just kidding.
Bleep.
Bleep. I went to her Instagram and went like, probably to like her first Instagram post and found out she really likes Halloween. Just so
Oh
happened to be
gosh.
around Halloween. She's
Oh
like
my gosh.
obsessed with Halloween. She like mass decorates her house with
Yeah.
Halloween. She did a post about it, like multiple posts about it. So
I
I
love it.
so I went on Amazon and found these like wine tumblers. There's like two of them. They were like jack-o'-lanterns, like, but they're like wine tumblers.
Yeah.
And so I sendosoed them to her, and it was like, "Don't be scared of your data." Like,
Oh my
let me
gosh.
let
That's
me
tight.
like let me like be your partner in this, or I don't know specifically what I did, but I know it was super cheesy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we've also done Madewell was an account we were trying to get into, so we had all the girls in the office dress up in Madewell clothes and take a picture
No
and
way.
say like, "Tealium loves Madewell."
Oh my gosh. That's so like over the top, and I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot. I did get a response one time. There's this guy I found out from Twitter. He's like an ultra marathoner,
Yeah.
and so I said like, "I just ran 8 miles for the first time," and this was fact. Like I really did, and I was like, "Would love some advice on how to like recover because I have no idea what to do." And
Yeah.
I was serious, and then I like kind of pitched him like in the bottom,
Yeah.
and then he responded immediately and was like, um, "Here's my advice on running. 8 miles is still great. I know because he runs like 100 miles." And I was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
"Who does that?" Uh,
Weird. It's weird people out there.
yeah. And so, and then he was like, "I'm not the right person, but I'm forwarding this to like my boss."
That's awesome.
Yeah. So just trying to get, I don't know if it's stocky, creative, whatever it is, but
I think it's
bringing
super
in
creative.
personalization. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. And it's yeah, I think like utilizing your resources like that is super cool. Um would you have like a mentor, or like a like guru, or like any kind of like training that you've got, like anybody that has kind of been a part of your sales career that you would say like has helped you get where you are now?
Like within my company,
Anything.
um, throwing me for a loophole here. I wasn't prepared.
If you don't, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's
Yeah,
all
I honestly like I look at
self-made.
everyone. I look at everyone as my mentor. I feel like I feel like I can learn from everyone. Again, like it goes back to my idea of like no
Yeah,
one title is
I love that.
means they know more. Like I could learn from anyone, even someone who's probably not in sales. Like they could teach me something. And I think honestly, it's just being creative and or being curious and asking them questions.
I love that.
Um, I mean, it goes back to that saying like you're the most interesting person in the room when you make someone feel like when you're interested in someone else. Like,
Mm, that's
um,
a good quote. I like that.
thanks.
That's tight.
Yeah, I probably butchered it, but
No,
either
that's
way,
cool.
but it is true, and I truly believe that we could learn from anyone. So I would say like LinkedIn, obviously my management, my team members.
Mm,
Um, I mean it when I mean you can ask anyone in my company how many questions I ask people, but like I do see a lot of people for questions and ask them how they would go about responding or whatever. I mean, at all in any capacity, like my way is not the right way. It just
yeah,
I just do it with I just do it my authentic way and it comes off, I guess, as real and maybe people feel that and go with it.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. What are your favorite tools to use?
I love outreach number one. I mean, how could you live without outreach? I would forget everything
I'm gonna
without
use that quote. How could you live without outreach?
it's true. I mean, it tasks you up. It gives you everything you need to do.
Yeah,
Um, love outreach. We use Drift, so Drift Video is like my new snazzy tool that I like.
drift is awesome.
Yeah, Drift is great. We've also incorporated like a new like booking meetings so that they can come in and just book the meeting straight there if maybe you're away
That's tight.
making lunch or walking outside or whatever it might be.
You just get a
Um,
meeting booked right to
and
you.
then you just
That's
got a
awesome.
meeting on your calendar when you get back and you've done nothing. It has not happened to
Nothing.
me yet,
Doing
but
nothing is great.
I hope it does soon. I would say those are like my two. Well,
You mentioned Sendoso, right?
Sendoso and then High Spot. High Spot is probably, I mean, that might be number one actually. That one and then
Watch out,
Outreach.
outreach.
I know. I
And
took
then do you use Vidyard for video?
No, we use Drift Video.
Oh, Drift Video. Drift
Yeah.
Video is cool because you can like connect with the people almost like is it like while you're in a chat with them?
Yep. Yeah.
That's
So
like super high
and
touch.
you can see them like open like how much they watched of it. They open it and creepy thing is like when they're watching it, you could like drift them like, hey, thanks for watching.
That's gnarly.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I
super
haven't done
gnarly.
that because I'm like, let me give them a second to like watch it.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, what advice would you give like anybody that's starting out in the role?
Yeah. So I have one mentee right now. We have 3 new people that have just started.
Hmm.
My advice that I give them constantly is play to your strengths. Don't try to be someone that you're not.
I
I
love
don't
that.
think you have to be a jack of all trades. You again goes back to the collaboration. Find the people that are good at that aspect and bring them in when you need to.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that.
just be authentic, be yourself.
Mm,
People are people.
that's
Don't
awesome.
and also take care of yourself. You're going to put your best self forward if you take
That's
care
cool.
of you. So whatever that looks like, if you need to lay down on the floor, which is something I have to do often, and put your feet up on the wall and just take a break, do that.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
Yeah. But yeah, you take care of yourself. Don't get overwhelmed. One day at a time. It's easy to feel like you're drinking through a fire hose,
Yeah.
especially when you first get started.
Yep.
And then maybe you're sending out emails and you're getting objections and people unsubscribe or like stop emailing me or whatever, all the things we all get.
Yeah, yeah.
um, just be consistent with your authentic self,
That's
I
cool.
guess.
I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's so cool. Shelby, you're awesome. I love how curious and authentic and just like humble you are. I feel like those are the things that just kept coming to my mind of like your curiosity and just like fearlessness to like when you talk about like everybody has the same title and like I feel like those traits are going to take you like to the moon.
Yeah.
And I wanted to end by just asking you like what do you feel like the future looks like for you?
We'll get there somewhere. That's a really good question. Again, I like to try out a lot of different things. So
Yeah.
um, I never knew I was going to be in sales. I I don't know. One day at a time, I have such a passion for people and teaching. That was one thing I didn't get to of what I learned today is how much I really do enjoy helping other people learn and get
Mm,
things. Like, I have some of the new people on my team Slack me, and I mean this like I don't know, without an ego or anything, but like I drop everything and they're a priority to me.
that's tight.
And I like mean it because I actually want them to succeed and
Mm,
and grow and feel confident in whatever it is. I want to build people's confidence and
yeah.
make them believe in themselves and believe in
Dang,
them
that's
like
tight.
as a person and not just like their title or what they feel like they have to do because
Yeah.
we're all unique and we're all different. We all bring vastly different things to the table. And again, goes back to that like you don't have to be everything. Just
Yeah.
just be one, just be you. Just be the thing that you're good at and
Dang.
just go with it. So I
So
don't
what you're saying is maybe an SDR manager?
I don't know. I don't know.
Dang.
So the goal right now is to be an AE.
Okay. Yeah.
I would like to get like full closing experience and move up there. Um, but in terms of like long term goal, I don't know. Like I want all these side projects like you're doing. I want a podcast. I want to create a blog.
Dude, you should.
I want all these things.
I
Maybe
love it.
we'll trade spaces.
I'm
I'll
not
interview you
I'm not
next.
as good as you are though, so I can't be on the podcast. No, I was just kidding.
What does that mean? Yes,
Well,
you can.
what's that?
I said yes, you can.
Awesome. Okay, well, I better be on your podcast someday.
You'll be whatever number I am. I'll make sure you're that number. Agree?
That's so cool. How can people connect with you?
I would say LinkedIn. That would be the best way. You could find me, Shelby Whelihan. Um, and yeah, we'll keep it at LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well, Shelby, thanks so much for being on the show. You are awesome. Thanks for imparting such wisdom on us. But we're gonna sign off. But thanks so much for coming on.
yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. See you later.